There's an awful lot of guys there. Yeah, there's a lot of guys. There's a set thing here, and yeah. So this is Calicat, the Calicatster, and the set is now set up for the for sort of a fun thing, fake convention thing, Star Trek characters, and my characters from Starship locations interacting. It's a gag thing. We've done these before. This is not a Q episode or anything. It's just, and yeah, there's an awful lot of them. So I'm figuring that the with this one, this one there wouldn't be. They can't all have a scene. It would last no time. We'll see what works and what doesn't. And if stuff doesn't work, then we'll use that part. Like we did some of the other ones. I wanted to do the classic crew and the next generation crew. Of course, it's not really them. It's silly Trek versions of them being interviewed. Either that or you put me in a Star Trek outfit and have me to talk about Star Trek live. That's not as interesting. So I thought make it action figures and stuff, and tie it into the other universe, the Cillians and all that. And it's a Cillian Silly Trek episode, but it's literally member berries to the. There's literally it might as well be. It's probably not going to be called that, but yeah, it's the 60 years of Star Trek. They're probably going to do specials. I don't know. They've done episodes, but there was no. I didn't go to the conventions this summer, so the AnimaCon thing is obviously a gag. But yeah, I used some art from one of the fan sites. I don't know which one, but I wrote about it below it. And you figure at a cheesy convention they would do something like that. There would be banners behind them. So, yeah. Let's see what happens. We're making of whatever this is. Star Trek story. Set in the current timeline stuff. We'll see what the characters are up to and their alleged, stuff. Can kind of guess at what's going on with Stranger World stuff with their cast and crew at their convention thing, and didn't watch it, but I'm gonna guess. You probably figure some of the voice characters hooked up, some of them didn't, and whatever else and gags about the characters. Nothing really weird will happen. It's just silly Trek. So yeah, let's enjoy the silly Trek story with the characters. Yeah, and we'll of course start with classic Trek, the Next Generation, and go to our cast. They're all the action figures and playmates. They're all 5-inch action figures. They're not to scale with the newer ones from Nacelle, but we don't know exactly what the Nacelle ones are. I think they're a little taller. That's not gonna work. But yeah, there's but the ours are painted up to look like the guys. So yeah, there were just back in the day there were just a few discrete series of characters. There were they had the TOS era ones. They had some of the movie ones. They had some of the Generations ones, and then they had the weird middle scale ones that are 6-inch. Those are probably the size of the Nacelle ones, the slightly larger First Contact ones. They never did the smaller First Contact ones. The only one they did was this one guy, Captain Calhoun, mail order guy. The 5-inch ones, and so yeah, and so the 5-inch ones are that scale, and they did Next Generation. 2 seasons of that, and they did Voyager, Deep Space Nine. They only did 1 season of Voyager, Deep Space Nine, and that was kind of it. And then later on, in 2023 or so, they did some of the Prodigy people, but I didn't pull those out. I did my own. So I used those from some Voyager people and some other ones, and also Lower Decks. They're coming out with figures of that, but I didn't use those either. I used my own, and also the that I painted up from other ones. So that's where they are. So yeah, what did so that's what's going on. Yet another convention thing. It's a gag. Yeah, so it'll have improv in it and stuff because there's no script, like the Transformer story with the Dinobots just before this. Yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to do like a celebration of 60 years thing and the Starship Location Special thing and all that. Gags. Yeah, and obviously this is not interviews with actual real stars from Star Trek. It's fake. It's made up. So don't think that it actually is. And oh my gosh, Will Wheaton said this. No, it's not Will Wheaton. Obviously, it's not William Shatner. Obviously, yeah. I mean, already it's make believe. You've got George Takei and William Shatner's action figures next to each other. They would never hang out. Oh my. No, they wouldn't do that. But yes. So, this is Calicat the Calicaster, and this is continuing with the making of the fastest Star Trek fan film tribute thing ever done in the course of 12 hours. But we already knew what we were going to do, so yeah. Yeah, but this is making of. It's real brief. There will be other tributes on September 8th. Coming up in over a month, we will do a special Calicat in one of the costumes thing. One of his costumes. We'll do that and discuss 60 years of Star Trek, of which I've been around for 56 years almost. So it'll only be less than that. But yes, next generation person, yeah, TNG. So we'll discuss the TNG years and all that stuff. So that'd be fun. That'd be cool. Yeah. So, and yeah, I didn't get to go to the two Trekkie conventions this summer. We were moving around. We're still not really completely sold at the other place. So back in Milpitas. So yeah, there's some kind of hang up with the that. But yeah, there's so the Star Trek stuff continues here at the studio. We're still doing those, and this is and I'm doing reviews of Strange New Worlds this season. There are no Strange New Worlds characters in this thing technically, because they didn't make Playmates figures of them. And you're going to see what the new ones are at Nacelle. I think they're a different scale. I think they're slightly taller. I think that's not going to work. But yeah, these are Playmates action figures in the story. It's not official. They are the official Playmates figures, yes, but this is not endorsed by them. It's not endorsed by Paramount, CBS, or the Warner Brothers merger or anything like that. The Next Generation time period, they haven't been involved with any of the shows, or at least since 2005 or so. Enterprise ended. Anyway, so it's been a while. But yes, but I've been reviewing them and doing fan films and all that stuff. Some of the newer stuff does seem like it's Calicat, but it really shouldn't be. But in the story, we have several characters playing other ones, and some of them are playing opposite themselves in their other characters. So some of them are off. So just keep that in mind that they watch this. Some of them got mixed up during the making of this, and they corrected that toward the end with some of them, but some of them still are. And yeah, I'm wondering how they're going to do any kind of an ensemble Marvel kind of thing. This Marvel, Star Trek was briefly a Marvel property and then a DC property back in the day as well for comic books and Gold Key and that. In wondering how they're going to do that, because like even with that new Avengers movie, they're going to have like 40 people in that. They're going to have like 3 lines apiece. It's going to be, there's going to have to be main characters. You can't just do it the way I do it. Ironically, in my fan film here, I don't think the original TOS people are on film for more than 10 minutes. But because we have to go on to the next generation and all the other generations that have come. Seven different shows, 8 different shows. And I was looking for assets we could put up there for the ships and stuff, but I decided, no, someone will inevitably flag that if I put up assets. So we're not going to. I'm going to show just voiceovers with different Star Trek names flashed up on the screen. Yeah, that's a voiceover, but with the different logos typed up on Photoshop, so it's me. It's not AI. It's me doing it. Typed up on AI, and there it is. And computer aided assistance, okay, but it's not AI. So it's not AI. Yeah. So discuss that later. There's another thing. This is not meant to be an episode of the show. The Starship Locations. Like the other convention at Amicon, I think 2023 was the other one. Or we spoofed GalaxyCon. I think that was the one. This is a sequel to that one, and the other one. There's no Q involvement in it. There are Q people in it. There's Cillians in it. And they don't explain where they came from at all. They just talk about Star Trek, which makes more sense since they already talked about the other stuff. Yeah, so enjoy this briefly, quickly made fan film. Which is about all we could do with a back troubled the last one. Anyway, so that bastard. Yeah. So that was about all we could do with that. So, yeah, I can do fan films and sit in a chair, but like do that. But yeah, yeah. So that's that. Yeah. So enjoy the tribute to Star Trek. 60 years of. Enjoy the tribute to Star Trek 60 years. I keep getting fake phone calls. Live long and prosper. All that. There will be more. There will be a live action Cal-Cat thing. It'll show up September 8th. I'm sure everyone else will to do something. Probably film it on September 7th and release it on September, so it comes out on September 8th. But yes, that's a little bit off. But yeah, because even though they're trying to do other series during this year, they've been better at it than the 50th anniversary, where they didn't really do much for 2016. They had the one movie, and and they have listened to the Calcatster channel. They're not going to do an origin story, yay, for the next movie. It's not an origin story. It's not an origin like prequel. They threw that away. They said no, that Calcat guy is right. Don't do that. We've done that before like 5 times. Yeah, why do we keep doing that? We need to stop. Discovery, you were one of the other ones. Don't do con. Don't do another con one. We get enough of the cons. Does it? Yeah, Stranger Worlds does. Also points out the oddity of that. The Ponfar wouldn't work because Spock's a horn dog on the new show. I think it's a different timeline. Anyway, here is our version. You won't see any Stranger Worlds people in this story because there aren't any Playmates figures of them. That'd be cool if they released them though. Playmates got their thing back, but if Nestle's doing it, then they can't. So yeah, the action figures that I've retouched up to the Academy people as well. Yeah. I have more Star Trek fan films than any of the other Star Trek fan film people at this point. Since 2019. I mean, there's been earlier ones that started in 2007, further back. If you consider novels and books and things, way earlier. The first KS stuff was way back. And now there's a new word for KS, the Spirk novel, coined by the guys over the pond, the Trek culture. But that's not what it's called. It's called KS. It's Kirk Spock. KS, that's what it is. Never Spock before Kirk. Yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah, and this is shipping stuff. And it's funny that Will Wheaton also ships them. None of the characters in this story are actually the actors. It's all Cal Cat voices. None of them are actually the people that inspired them, but they hint at them. Yeah. And all of them approve of whoever appeared for whatever reason. Going back to, I consider Silly Trek Starship locations the early predominant. So technically, our fan film stuff started in 1986, before Next Generation was even a thing, during Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. But then other things happened, various other things. Yeah, and then the Next Generation will be 30 years old in October of 2027. So it isn't yet 2020. So figure out the dates. We are now approaching rapidly what would be 2403. So that the timeline's a little timey-wimey weird, but it should be 2403. Next year, 2027, 2028 is Next Generation, or 1987, 88. So it's not yet. We're jumping a year and a half ahead, and sometimes even further in our fandom, to avoid the idea. Okay, you're including people that were based on somebody underage, which is silly because there's nothing bad going on. Yeah, but no, I should put it a little bit ahead. Yeah, this story in the timeline takes place in 2026, though. Everybody is 2403 then in this story, early 2403. So they are back to being the youth in the story. So yes, and the other ones, and next gen people and stuff, and a joke about stuff that happened at conventions behind the scenes from years ago, but it's probably changed since then. I haven't been to a current one. I could have watched the Comic-Con footage, but I didn't. I was like, no, I'm just gonna do my own thing. I won't be influenced by other stuff. Yeah, and the Strange New Worlds people joking back and forth, I won't be influenced by that either. And yeah, it's weird because this channel is the Chimera channel. The other one's the one that does the reviews. So it's like, oh, keep going about the reviews. Anyway, so yeah, enjoy the fan film. Tribute to Star Trek. It's mainly about Star Trek, but it's also about the Cal Cat story and how it's woven together and paying homage to Star Trek. I've had a show. That and Transformers. Star Trek and Transformers, a big deal. Robotech, G.I. Joe, to a lesser extent. But yeah, a lot of Robotech. But yeah, the grandfather of Transformers fan films, and definitely one of the bearers of the torch of the Star Trek Next Generation, bringing the Next Generation people. And yeah, it is weird that Patrick Stewart very rarely appears on stage with the other actors. That's odd. He does some of the big conventions, but the smaller ones in San Jose, every time he's been to San Jose, it's always been separate. He would appear, and then maybe he'd appear with Data, but not the other one. It's odd. Yeah, so behind the scenes. There's no really current behind the scenes stuff. I was going to mention some of that, but I'm not going to do that because it's not current. The story sets up nothing that's timey-wimey, as the Dinobots said in the other story, timey-wimey. Timey-wimey stuff. Yeah, they're just on the planet, on Earth in 2026, and I'm assuming they're somewhere in Sacramento. Well, I haven't been to that Sacramento convention center, but I duplicated it. I haven't been there yet, but I duplicated it. But it's a fair facsimile, but in one, and not doing that. So, gotta end this before I ramble on about other stuff that's gonna get cut out. So, yeah. Anyway, Star Trek tribute thing done in less than 12 hours.